Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I am going to explain how you are going to install your Jenkins in your Docker. Okay, and I will tell you if you need to install any application over Docker, and if you need to run that particular application with the help of Docker file, how you are going to build that particular image, and what are the run entry point and you know copy and ADR. These types of instruction I will explain you in details. Okay. So in my last video, if you haven't watched my last video, you can go through my last video. I will explain you how you are going to download your images from Docker Hub, how you are going to pull that particular images, what are the commands, if you need to go in details, how you are going to get in more detail with the help of docker inspect command. Okay, if you need to run in interactive mode, how you are going to run that particular docker container, that things I have already explained you in well detail. If you need to delete your images, if you need to delete your running container, how you are going to delete, if you need to run your running container, you can see this. If you want to run delete your running container, then you need to first install your First, you need to stop your running container with the help of Docker stop command. Then you need to, once it will get stopped, you need to remove it from your Docker. So now let's move forward. If you need to install Jenkins in your over your Docker, how you are going to do this? First of all, you need to check if Docker is installed in your system. You can see this Docker version command. It is already installed. And if you need to check the services, what is the command? Sudo system ctl status docker. You can see the docker services is also active and running. Okay, now we need to pull that docker images. Okay, if you need to pull your Jenkins images, how you are going to pull? You need to pull it from docker hub also. Okay, or you can customize it, but I am currently pulling it from docker hub. So you need to write it here Jenkins. Okay, now you can see this official images is there Jenkins, so we need to get it from docker hub. So how you are going to pull it? Docker pull command, and then you need to put your image name. You can see this, it is downloading and downloaded, completing. It will take hardly few more seconds. Okay, yeah, it is getting completed here. Now if you see this, if image is downloaded, then you need to run that docker images command. If you need to check if any running container, then you need to run that docker ps command. No running container is there, but you have downloaded your Jenkins image. If you need to run that particular container with the help of this particular image, what you need to do? You need to run that particular image. What the command? Docker run hyphen dt detach terminal. Okay, then what you need to do? You need to give your port number. Suppose I am giving any port number at 8084, then give the default port 8 of docker, and then you need to write your image name here, copy this one and paste it here. That things I already explained in my last video. Okay, for Nginx image I have explained. Okay, now something went wrong here. Okay, so Docker error. Full access 8084 does not exist. Maybe require Docker login. Denied request to access resource. Okay, now it is showing some error. We need to find out why we are getting this type of error. It's because we have given the port number, but in that particular command I haven't mentioned the hyphen p option here. Okay, that's why it is giving error. Now see this. Okay, now run the container is running or not. You can see this one container is already running here. Okay, now, or if you want to access this particular container, how you are going to do this? Copy this public IP. Okay, then you need to put the port number. What port number you have given? 8084 here. Okay, this port number you have given 8084. Now you can see this. Okay, reload. So 8084 Jenkins port number is 8080. This is also correct. Docker run dt. So why it is not running? Okay, it should be run here. Let's see the security group. Okay, in that particular, go to the security group and let's allow the 8084 port here. Okay, so in that particular security group, click here and okay, inbound traffic, yes, edit. Okay, I need to put all traffic for everywhere. Okay, now save this rule. Okay, no problem. Let me make all traffic customize everywhere. Okay, save it back. Okay, again delete it. Let me do everywhere. Save this rule. Try to refresh it. Let me refresh it again. Okay, so we need to troubleshoot why it is not running. Run that, docker ps command. Okay, let me interact. Let me delete that particular container, running container. So if you need to delete, and what is the command? Docker. First we need to stop this container. We need to command docker stop. Okay, then you need to give your container id, copy this container id, paste it. Okay, now docker stop, wait for few seconds. Okay, now we are going to delete this container, then docker. Okay, then you need to give your rm-rf hyphen f, then you need to give you this container id, copy this container id, paste it. Okay, it has been delivered. Run this docker ps command, no container. Let me try to run it again. Okay, docker run command, then we need to give hyphen dt command, then we need to get hyphen p command. Okay, local host port you can give everything because you have allowed it. Let's give 8085, then your Jenkins port number is, that is 8080. Okay, after that you need to give the name, hyphen name, that is image name is, that is your Jenkins. Okay, copy this Jenkins, paste it. Okay, now slash bin bash, it should be run. Okay, docker ps, you can see this uh Jenkins is running, Jenkins images, the container is running. Then let me see to access with 8085 port here. Okay, 8085, it should be run here. Why it is running or not running, that need to be troubleshoot here. Okay, now question is why it is not running. If we have allowed this port, okay, if we have allowed this port, why it is not running? Mm, that we need to troubleshoot. So run that docker ps hyphen a. Okay, it is fine. 8085. Let me try to run in different browser. Let me try to execute in different browser first. So now you can troubleshoot with the help of ChatGPT also. So now let's take the help of ChatGPT to solve this issue. Okay, before that let's try to run one more time here. Okay. Okay, so there is a some issue. Okay, so let's try to troubleshoot it. So container is running, but we are not able to access. Okay, in Docker. So let's see how we are going to troubleshoot this. So let's see, let's find out. So he is saying that see the docker ps command that is already I have checked. Okay, docker ps command we have already executed that our container is running. Okay, now next troubleshooting step he is saying that look the port column you should see like this one. Okay, it is also fine. Okay, it is also fine. Okay, now next step what he is suggesting to fix stop and rerun the container with port mapping like this. Okay, no problem. Let me try and rerun it again. Copy and paste it here. Then you need to give your image name. Okay, so our image name is 8086. Let's see this 8086, then 8080 your Jenkins, and image. What is this? Yeah, this is your image. We need to paste it. Okay. Oh, what is happening here? 8085 8080 space copy paste it. Okay, like that way. So port is already allocated. Let me give 086. Okay, now run the docker ps command. Okay, now try to run with the 8086 port number. So some port is basically already occupied here. That's why it is not running. You can see this. If we have run this with the help of 8086 port, it is running perfectly. So now what we can do, we can delete this container. So it will easy to identify our running container for Jenkins. So how we are going to, you know, uh, delete this container? We need to stop this container first. Okay, so we need to run the command docker stop. Then we need to put the container ID here. Copy this container ID, paste it again. Yeah, now one container should be stopped. Now you can remove with docker rm-f. Then you need to give again the container ID. Okay, now run the docker ps command. You can see only one container should be run. Okay, you can refresh this page. It should be okay. Okay, let me delete it. Oh shit, accidentally I have deleted that running container. Okay. No problem. Let me delete this one also. Docker stop. Copy this one, paste it. So docker rm hyphen f command we can use to remove it permanently. So docker ps no container should be run. Now again we need to run command docker run hyphen dt. Okay, hyphen p for port allocation we can give 8087 or anything, then 8080. Okay, then you need to give your image name, that is called Jenkins. Okay, slash Jenkins, then slash bin slash bash. Okay, now, okay, what is saying that unable to find the Jenkins image locally, but okay, okay, spelling mistake I did. Okay, yeah, now it is fine. Run the docker ps command. Okay, now you can see this particular image is running. Now we can access this image. Okay, public IP is same, but what I have given here 8087. Now run with 8087. Okay, now see this, it should be okay now. So again it is not running. What is intelligent format? Okay, docker run dt hyphen this port Jenkins then slash bin. Format is correct. I don't think so any issue because in 8085 8086 I have given the same format. Okay, okay, got it. Let me remove this bin bash. Okay, I think I got the issue why it is happening. Now try to run this 8088. Yeah, I got it why it is happening. Okay, yeah, now it is started. So now next is it is asking to logging inside your container so that the password is there inside this var file. So now if you need to see this, if you cat this file, what will happen here? It is showing that no such directory or file is there, but here it is showing that password is there. But why it is happening here? Because you are running this cat var file inside your VM, but we need to run inside your Docker. Okay, so for that we need to enter inside your container, then need to, you know, see this file. So how you are going to interact with your running container? You need to run the command docker exec command. Then you need to put the container, okay, hyphen it for interacting container. Okay, now what is the container? You can run the docker ps command again to see the running container for which port? For 8088 port. Okay, so see this 8088 port, 8088 port, this is your running container. So go to that running container, docker exec hyphen interacting terminal, put the container id. Okay, put the container id here, interactive terminal container id, this one, copy, paste it. Now what you need to do? You need to run that bin bash. Okay, bin bash. Now you are inside your container. Now check this. If it is this file is there or not. You are already inside your, now it is already there. Copy this and try to paste it. Now you are able to, what is saying there? It is saying that the password is in, please check the correct password. Let me try to copy again, copy this file, uh, paste it. Now you can see this, we are inside your container. We are inside our container and we are able to access your Jenkins images, Jenkins servers. Okay. So by this way, we are able to enter inside your container, and you need to, before means if you don't want to stop your Jenkins server, you need to exit. What is the command? Control PQ. Okay, run that docker ps command. You can see this. It is already running. Okay, got it? Okay. So now we need to remove this. How we are going to remove? We need to stop this container, docker stop. Then you need to put your container ID. Okay, copy. Two container is there. We can simply remove these two containers. No issue. I think it is clear now how we are going to pull our images from Docker Hub. And if we need to access that particular image, if we need to stop our running container, if we need to remove our container, how we are going to, we can simply stop and remove your container from this way. Okay. Now run that docker ps command, no container should be, and you can see that images as well. It will be present here. How you are going to remove? Docker rm. Okay, copy this, paste it. No such container. Unable to must force. Okay, no problem. Hyphen f. Now you can see this docker images. Docker. Yes. No image, no container is this. Okay. Now our next concept is, if you need to, you know, try to, if you need to try to execute any application, okay, how you are going to do this? Okay. Okay, so let me try to explain it with the help of paint. So suppose you have one application. Suppose you have one application. Okay, that is your application. Okay, inside your application will be there inside your container. Okay, inside your container. Got it? Okay, and your container will run where? Over the Docker. Over the Docker. Got it? Okay, and this Docker will run over, this Docker will run over EC2. That is your VM. Okay, EC2. You can see this. This is your EC2 machine. Inside that EC2 is machine, we have installed Docker first. After Docker installation, what we have created? We have downloaded our images, and we have created our container. Okay, so like that way, if we have any application, that application will run inside your container, and that container will run over Docker, and that Docker will execute inside your machine. That is called VM. That is called EC2 in terms of AWS. Okay, so now how this application, how this container will create? Okay, so for that we are running the docker run command. So we are running that particular docker running, we are running the docker run command. Okay, so once we are running the docker run command, what will happen? If we are running the docker run command, sorry, then container is getting created, right? If we are running the docker run command, so container is getting created, and docker run command we are executing to where? We are executing in images, or we can see this, if we are running going to create any application, then we are running the docker run command in our custom image. Okay, so over custom image we are running the docker run command, and then application is getting created, and that custom images is coming from where? We need to write some docker file. We need to run some docker file, and once we will run the docker file running file, we need to build that particular docker file. Okay, once we build that docker file, then custom image will get created. Okay, so okay, so we need to run that. What we need to run, create docker file. Over docker file we are going to building it. Once building it, the custom image is getting created, and over that custom image we are running the docker run command, and once we are running the docker run command, container is getting created, and container is containing application plus operating system. Got it? So now in my previous example, where we have imported our images through docker hub. Okay, so we are taking the images which is already present over docker hub. Okay, so but if we have any, if we want to create our own custom images, then we need to write docker file, and in that particular docker file we need to give some instructions. Okay, so to write our docker file also, we also required what? We also required operating system. Okay, so we required operating system required. Okay, then what we required? We required source code of your application. Okay, we required packages. Okay, we required packages. Okay, we require dependencies, and we then also we need to give instructions. We need to give instructions. Okay, we need to give instructions also. Okay, so now this particular OS is coming from, in that case we need, this particular image is coming from docker hub. Got it? So from docker hub, from that particular docker hub we are pulling that particular image which is required to write our docker file. Then we need to our application codes here. We can clone that particular code from our github also, and we require dependencies or packages also, and then we need to write some instructions also. Now what are the particular instruction that we need to write inside your docker file? So let's try to understand that particular instructions. Okay, what types of instruction we need to write? So to write instructions, we have our first instruction, that is called your from instruction. From means from where we are extracting or pulling our base images. So we are writing that particular image inside your from instruction. Okay, pull the required base image, that is called your base images, that we are getting with the help of docker pull command. Okay, next instruction is called run instructions. Run instruction means where we execute commands commands within the container within the container during docker build build time only. Okay, during build time, I think it is very much clear now. From instruction we are pulling the base images. From instruction we are pulling the base images. Okay, and docker run command, docker run instructions, docker instruction basically we are using where docker run instruction we are using to execute the command which is required to build our docker images. Okay, and that particular run command will execute over build time only. Okay, and basically this is used to, also we can use the docker run command to install the dependencies. Okay, also we can use for setting up the environment also. Got it? So the next instruction is called work dir. What is the use of work dir? Set the working directory for subsequent instructions. Okay, so if we are you know installing our packages and we need to install in any particular directory, we can write here inside. Suppose we have created slash app directory, so in that work dir command we can assign that slash app, so that all the required sub instructions are going to insert in particular dap directory. So basically it is used for sets the working directory from the host, uh, set the working directory for subsequent instructions. Okay, example of we can give example also, slash app. Okay, like that way. So all the following instruction will be execute means related, this will be execute inside that particular directory only. So now next instruction command is copy and add. Okay, so what is the copy and add? Copies file and directory from host machine into our container file. We are using copy command. Okay, it is basically preferred for simply copy our files, while add is basically extra feature like extracting the tar files. Okay, all all the information like url. Okay, all the information which is means that is related like url, or suppose our uh, our codes are there some different location like S3 bucket, then in that case we can use our add instructions. Okay, but copy is used for same file location only. From same file, if we need to copy something, we can use the copy command, and from different location we are using the add commands. Okay, I think it is clear now. Okay, so we can write it here also. Let me write it here. Copy files and directories from the host machine into the container containers file system. Okay, I can give some example here also. Example, suppose we need to copy all the content which is currently present inside your directory. Copy, I want to copy all the file which is present my current working directory, and we need to move it inside your slash app. Then we can use the copy like that way. Okay, and add used to copy files and loader files, but little advanced, like we can add URL also. Okay, like I have already told you that if we can copy files from some S3 storage bucket. Okay, then we can use our add statement here. Okay, now next is your expose statement. Expose basically we are using support Docker that the container listing on a specific network port at the runtime. In that case, we can write our expose statement here. Means does not public the port. It is for documented purpose only. Okay, suppose I need to mention that particular port is running 80. Okay, that I need to remember that. Then in that case, we can use the expose command. Okay, let me write it here also. What is the expose? Inform Docker that the container listen on specified network ports at runtime. Okay, now next is your CMD. What is that CMD? It provides the default command to run when container started. Means once our container will get started. Okay, then the command which we require to run that runtime only. Okay, that time we can define that particular command in our CMD instructions. Okay, and that particular commands, okay, override can be provided at runtime. Okay, means only the last CMD instruction is effective, means it will be overridden. Let me write it here, and you will also get more clarity if I will no if we will do some practical, then you will get more clarity. Don't worry, I will explain all these statements in our practicals also, so that you will also get the better understanding. Okay, so provides, what CMD will provide? CMD provides default command, okay, to run when a container starts. Okay, once container will start, if you are given any command inside your CMD statement, that particular command will get start. Okay, and it can be what? Overwrites. Okay, at runtime. Got it? Means what is the mean? Means only the last CMD instructions is effective, the only that time. Example, if you want to give the example, then I can give the example like CMD. Okay, so that command will execute in your runtime only. Okay, so now next command is, and last command is, that is called entry point. What is the use of entry point? It, the difference between run means entry point and CMD, that suppose you need to configure the container that is also required at runtime, then that particular time we will use the entry point, but it is not overridden. Okay, configure the container, configure the container to run as an executable. Okay, where it is useful? Useful for setting a default executable or lighting the container environment. Okay, what is the example? We can write like that way: entry point, then we can give these four commands run in build time only, and these two commands run and say these two commands. Okay, CMD and entry point, that will execute in your runtime. Okay, Docker runtime. I think it is clear. So let's move for deploying one application so that it will be easy to understand how we are going to use this command inside our Docker files. Okay, so now let's take one, Python application that we need to deploy in our EC2. So to deploy that particular Python application, what are the requirements are there? I am not going to, without, let me try write it here. Suppose if you want to deploy any Python application, deploy Python application without Docker. Suppose if you are going to deploy any application without Docker, then how you are going to deploy your application? I am not, just forget about Docker here. So suppose if you need to deploy any application, okay, so how you are going to deploy? So for that, what are the requirements? We need to create EC2, right? We need to create the repository. We need to install Python also. We need to install dependency. Okay, let me write it here also. What are the things required? So we require, first of all, create let me change the color also. We need to create, first we need to create EC2, right? We required server, then we required repository. Why we required repository? We need to clone that particular repository, right? After that, what we required, it is the Python application. Then we also need to install Python. Got it? Also we required install we require dependency also. And which type of dependency? Python is using Flask player. Okay, Flask dependency. Okay, then we required run that particular run Python application also. Got it? In my case, if I have one Python file, then we, if you need to run that particular file, Python file, then we need to run that uh, run that add means that particular Python command file. Then we will use python Python space, okay, then app.py, if any py file is there, okay, Python file is there. Got it? And what else we required? What else we required to run any Python application? We need to create EC2. We need to create EC2. Okay, these things we required if we need to install our Python application. Okay, I am talking this without using the Docker concepts. Okay, simply if we required any application that is written in Python, we need to create our EC2. That is, suppose this is our EC2 that I have already, that EC2. Okay, we have repository. We need repository. We need to, clone that particular repository. Okay, so so this is my Python project. Okay, let me show you. So in that particular Python project, I have mentioned here, we need to create EC2. EC2 already I have created here. Okay, that EC2 is already there. Okay, that EC2, it is already there. Yeah, and I have written we required repository. That repository I will, you know clone it from our GitHub. Let me clone that particular repository. How we are going to clone it? Using git clone command. Paste it. Okay, so you need to install the git also. Git is not installed, so we need to install the git. So sudo yum install git. Okay, in that particular VM git is not there, so that's why it is showing git is not there. Okay, so git clone, now it is cloned. Now we got the repository also. Got it? You can see and put the ls-lrts. Now what is the next requirement? Install the python also. I did mistake. So how you are going to install the Python? Okay, you need to install the Python. So run the sudo yum install Python. Okay, 3 pip. Okay, it is also installed. Okay, Python is also installed. Now after that it is saying the install dependency. So Python dependency is flags. Okay, so how you are going to install your dependency? You can see this ls-lrt here. There is the requirement.txt file is there. Okay, inside that particular file you can see this flags player is already there. Okay, okay, okay. This requirement.txt file is there. Okay, so if you can see this flags is there. Okay, so how you are going to install this? You need to install the command, run the command pip 3 install, okay, hyphen r, then requirement.txt, then this particular flags will install here. Okay, so now our installation is also done. Now if we need to run that application, how we are going to run this? See this cat.app.py. You can see this. We are here also. This app.py, if I will give some name like Flash sample application for Azure App Services. Okay, if we need to run that particular code, how we are going to, you know, run this particular code? Then we can run the command, okay, python python 3 space app dot. Now see this. It is started. Now if you need to access this, how you are going to access this? Copy this IP, run the default port is 5000, enter this. Now you can see this your flags application on means on this particular line which I have mentioned, the our code, Python code that is running. By this way you can simply run your Python application. Okay, got it? So same thing, if you need to run with the help of Docker, how you are going to run? Okay, how you are going to run, that things we will discuss in our, you know, upcoming video. Okay, you got it? Same things we need to same things we need to, for this same thing we need to write some Docker file. In that particular Docker file we need to give some, you know, instructions also. Okay, and in that particular instruction we need to follow the instruction, like from instruction we need to do, we need in that from instruction we need to provide some OS information, then we need to run instruction. Okay, we need to copy instruction, we need to, that thing we will discuss in my next video. So in my next video I will uh, explain the practicals over our Docker run instruction, from instruction, everything, the all the instruction which is we are going to write inside our Docker file, we will see in my upcoming video. So thank you. I will upload my next video also. Bye bye, take care.